Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Good evening to you. Wow. I'm just saying, wow, I'm in the Midwest and this weather is no joke. It has started snowing and it is freezing out here. But I just want to say hello to everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lois Godot, and I am the host of this YouTube channel, Ask Lois the Relatable Therapist. I have been in a blended family for 27 years. And although I've been through a lot and I've seen a lot, I don't know everything. And so I'm also a therapist. And what I don't know, I've seen it in my practice as a therapist. And so I've created this channel. This channel is for everything with blended family. I talk about issues, give advice, like I'll be doing today, and more. So thank you so much for joining. And I want you to do me a favor. I've learned how to do this little ticker tape thing here. And I want you to please subscribe to this channel, to like and to share it, and to comment, because YouTube has this weird thing they do with the algorithms is that the more people that like it, the more people that comment on it, they will push it out so other people can see it. And so if you like what's on this channel, what you're hearing, then go ahead and push like so other people can see it and other people can be helped in this situation. So I got the little ticker tape going. I'm so proud of myself. I figured out how to do it. And I've also got the little emblems in the corner there. So I'm just really excited about that. So today, I just really want to talk to you about an issue that seems like that's going around a lot, and those are secrets. And so when I was on, the internet, just perusing the internet, I came across this email that was sent, and it was actually an article, and the woman was talking about situation that she was in. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and talk about that because that seems like that's an interesting subject. And as a therapist, right away my antennas went up as a therapist, and then as a stepmom and a bio mom parent, my antennas went up also. And so I want to go ahead and talk about the letter. I want to put it up. I told you I'm so proud of myself because I figured out how to do this. Let's see, is it there? It is. Look at that. Figured out how to do it. But before I read it, I want to do this disclaimer because I've been researching a lot and I saw this is, even though you can find things on the internet and if it's out there in the publications, you can talk about it if you have this disclaimer. So this video is protected by the Fair Use Act of 1976, which is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107. And its allowance is made for what's called fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. So if it's out there in the internet, we can talk about it because it's under the Fair Use Act if we're using it for a certain purpose. Okay, so let me go ahead and read the letter. Hopefully you can see it. Tried to make it as big as I could. So it says that, and the title of what I titled this YouTube video is Should Mom Reveal a Secret About Her Son's Bio Dad? So it says, I have been married to the same man for 52 years. 36 years ago, I had a child who is a product of an affair. I had two boys already when my third son was born. My husband was away during a military tour when the affair happened. I wanted a divorce, but my husband fought for our relationship. The father of my child was years younger than I. My husband accepted this child as his own. When this son was 2 years old, his biological father died in a car accident. His biological father had never seen my son, but my husband never. Wait a minute, let me go back. When my son was 2 years old, his biological father died in a car accident. His biological father had never seen my son, and we never told my son that my husband is not his biological father. I am feeling guilty about not telling my son, but my husband is against it. My two other sons know, but he does not know, and he's 36 years old now. Should I tell him I am feeling so guilty that he doesn't know? And so the main points of the article, let me pull this back down. See, look at that. So the main points of the article is that so she had this affair and she had this son, and right after she had her son, her husband was away in the military on his leave, and she wanted to get a divorce, but the husband fought for the marriage. He wanted to keep the marriage. The bio dad died. Her son's bio dad died. He never saw his son. Son never saw him. They have two older sons. The younger son doesn't know, and and he's 36 years old. She wants to tell her son about his bio dad, but the husband doesn't want to, and she feels guilty and wants to tell him. Wow, that's a lot. And so, as I was reading the post and I was thinking about it, because some of the advice that people had given was go ahead and tell them what's going on. Hold on a second, I'm gonna pull this comment up. Go ahead and tell them what's going on because he needs to know. But there's so much more to this story. And that's why I say it's not just simply just telling the story, because telling the story, the secret, because there's so much more involved. And I kind of want to break that down a little bit. So you can go ahead and comment if you want to. So I'm just going to type that. Um, leave a comment if you want to. That way you can interact with me if you leave a comment. So let's just go ahead and look at the definition of secrecy. So a definition of secrecy is, so we can kind of see what we're talking about. So it's the purposeful intention to hold back some piece of information from one or more people. Now, my husband and I, we kind of talked about what's the difference between a secret and privacy. And we both have our own definition about that. I personally think privacy deals more with yourself, and he thinks that privacy can be with the secret or private. They can be interchanged with both of them. So the point of the matter is that most people do have things that they have either secret or they have privacy. That's things that we don't want to tell other people. And that's healthy to keep some things to yourself. You might want to keep some things about your past. You may want to keep some things that's going on personally now with you. So it's a basic human need. I feel that we want to keep things private, and that's okay. But the problem starts that when the secret starts to feel like a burden. And in this case, with her, she said, I'm starting to feel guilty. I was thinking, wow, it's been 36 years and you're just now feeling guilty. But it's neither here or there. But she said she's starting to feel guilty. And when it starts to become a burden, research shows that it can start affecting you. And when it starts becoming a burden, now it's time to start thinking about, I need to let this go. And it's, in fact, it's documented, like I said, that research suggests that secrets can cause stress hormones. It can impact your blood pressure. It can stop you from sleeping. It can also cause mental health. And for some people, they may start using a substance so to kind of self-medicate so they won't feel that, because it can cause increased pain. So we're saying here that it's not just about the secret, but this secret is really starting to affect her. For a lot of people, when you start off with a secret, sometimes people do it as a protection. And it can start out as, I'm protecting myself, but then it starts turning into those, like I said, those symptoms, and even anxiety and fear and shame and rejection and regret and guilt. And so now you got all these emotions. That's why it's starting to feel like a burden. And so now you see that secret is not just keeping quiet, it's starting to affect her mentally. And I think that's probably why, because she said it, that's why she wants to let it go now, because it's really starting to affect her. And as I was thinking, if the secret is making her feel like this, just think about everybody else in the family. Remember, early on, she said that her other two sons knew about it. And so don't know how, the ages when they found out, but just thinking about if it's a burden to her, just think how they're feeling about it. So that's one piece of the mental health that I wanted to really bring out. When we're talking about secrets, it can really start affecting you and can really become a burden. And that's why it really needs to be looked at. And when it comes to family secrets, it can really be very destructive and affect everyone. Case in point, this secret here is affecting everybody in the family. The husband that wants to keep it a secret, the two boys that know, the mom that is feeling guilty, and the son that doesn't know. So what we call that, when different people know in the family, we call it a split family secret. Split family secret, when some of the members know about it and the others remain in the dark. And that's why it's called a split family, because it's actually splitting the family apart. Okay. So I was looking to see if I had any comments. Okay. So a question I had, like I said a little earlier, was when did the other brothers find out? Because she said they were younger. I mean, they're older than the younger brother, but they were still young. So I'm wondering the impact it had on them when they found out. Did they find out because the parents told them? Did they find out because, when the dad was away, were they old enough to understand and recognize that this man is not our dad? And all of a sudden, my mom's having a child, and it's not my dad. I'm just curious to find out, when did they find out? Did they ask questions? How was that, kind of dealt with? How did they navigate with that? Either way, I still feel that it's a huge burden on the sons that they have to keep this secret. And knowing kids talk among themselves. I mean, that's one of the things that kids do. They keep secrets from the parents. They keep secrets about where they went. I remember when I was a child, and we wouldn't tell our parents things that we did. I mean, that's that close knit that the siblings have. But now they have a secret, and they can't even tell their brother. Wonder how hard that was for them, and if it's even causing them any problems now as adults, because they can't tell their brother. So this leads me to the next question, which is, why was it kept a secret? Why was this kept a secret? And that's something that they would have to answer, because they were there. But sometimes when secrets are kept, it's to avoid, I'm thinking if it was 36 years ago, maybe it was to avoid judgment. Um, Judgment from others, because I came to this conclusion because I saw that the husband, he fought for the marriage, because she said that he fought to keep the marriage, and he accepted the son as his own. So maybe it was to avoid judgment from other people, because 36 years ago it was a different time then, and people looked at affairs and having children outside of marriage, they looked at it differently than they do now. So maybe it was for her protection. Maybe it was to keep the family together, because she said she wanted the divorce. And maybe that's not something that he believed in or he wanted to do, was to tear his family apart. Maybe it was to protect the son from negative words, because if people found out that he wasn't his biological child, maybe they would say negative things. So just curious to know, why was it kept a secret? Because that's very important, because she's saying, I want to tell it now. Do those things still exist? Those reasons why. And then a significant question is, will the revelation do more harm than good? Will it do more harm than good if the secret comes to life? Is it going to cause a greater rift in the family? Because the husband doesn't want to tell the secret. He doesn't want to tell it. So now it's going to impact the marriage. It's going to impact the marriage because she wants to tell it and he doesn't want to tell it. And then, was there an agreement between both of them that we would keep this to ourselves? And if she tells it, will he feel betrayed? So you see, it's not just simply, oh, she should just tell the secret. It's a lot of different layers here that have to be considered. And again, don't know his initial reasoning. Does he still feel that way? And I say, will it do more harm than good? Because I watch a lot of TV and I see the shows where when the child finds out that's not their parent, they're very upset. It may not go the way she thinks it'll go. Like, he's okay because we had this intact family and we've been together. It might not go that way. He may be upset. I have had clients that were upset when things were revealed to them that they felt should have been told to them earlier. He's 36 years old. 36 years, and now you're finally standing to him. And then his father is passed away. So what is he going to do with this information? So it's a lot of hidden issues in this, and a lot of things that have to be considered. But if she decides that she wants to move forward, these are some of the suggestions that I have. Those were just questions to kind of get her to kind of thinking about what you should think about. But I would, if I was her and wanted to still reveal this secret, I would suggest, first of all, not going to a talk show. Like we see a lot of people do. They jump on a talk show, they tell the whole world, and then they're surprised when the person's upset. I mean, you just told them in front of everybody, But I would suggest that they would get into therapy. Get into therapy and seek someone who can provide you some guidance through this, give you some emotional support as you're going through this. Someone that's not judgmental. because someone else would say, why did it take you 35 years? And someone that's not judgmental, that can kind of appreciate where you're at. Like I said in the beginning, as a mental health therapist, knowing that secrets, what it can do to you mentally and physically. And that's where she's at now. And then the next thing is to decide when you want to tell it. You can't just jump out and just tell it at any time. You have to decide when. That's why I said maybe some family therapy. They can all be together in a safe environment where it's okay to say how you feel, where you can disclose your feelings, and it's a non-judgmental place, some place that's going to be safe, because you don't know what different ones may say. And then to allow her son to feel how he wants to feel. Don't try to make him feel guilty. Now, sometimes people make you feel guilty when you say, I heard a noise. People make you feel guilty. It's like when you're upset. Well, I don't know why you're upset. Allow him to have those feelings that he's having. Allow him to process for however long he wants to process it. If he says, I don't want to talk to anyone, don't try to push him to talk. Allow him to have those feelings, because you all have had it for 36 years to deal with it. He's just finding out now. And he may need a minute to kind of wrap his mind around what's going on. Maybe think about the losses. He lost out on having a relationship with that side of the family. Let him process and go through what he needs to go through it. So that's my advice. And like I said, I found this article and I'm like, this is something that I've heard, that families keep secrets, and keeping secrets in families can be so destructive. But if you want to go forth with it, then you have to really take time and think about it. And then that piece about the husband and the wife, the marriage, that has to be discussed, because this is going to affect their relationship, because he doesn't want to tell it and she wants to. So having that family therapy, even maybe having some couples therapy, is going to help. So go ahead and tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel about that. What are your thoughts about that? If that's a situation that you've ever encountered. And go ahead and put it in chat and I will respond to you. And if you have a situation, say that you have a situation in your blended family, an issue or maybe a challenge, in the description, I've put my email. Go ahead and send me an email and I can talk about it on the channel. Okay? So talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, take time to just relax and refresh yourself.